How did you find out a totally harmless habit was quietly stopping your heart? My coworker Priya, because nothing says good morning like someone studying your face and quietly asking if I knew my fingernails had gone a little blue. I laughed and blamed the cheap office lighting, but that afternoon when I stood up from my desk and the whole break room tilted like a boat deck, I grabbed the counter and realized the fluorescence hadn't flickered. My vision had, and my heart was doing something in my chest that felt less like a heartbeat and more like a bird thrashing around in a box. I should have known something was wrong 2 weeks earlier, when I jogged half a block for the bus and had to sit on the curb for 10 minutes because my pulse just would not come back down. I told myself I was out of shape. Then the flutter started at night, this skipping, stumbling rhythm that jolted me awake at 3 a.m., with my own heartbeat slamming in my ears. The only thing that ever calmed me down was my one dumb comfort, a fistful of black licorice from the giant tub I kept in my desk drawer. I'd been blowing through a tub a week for months. It was the one steady thing in a year that had otherwise fallen apart. The night I nearly passed out in the parking garage was the night I finally let Priya drive me to the ER. The doctor hooked me to a monitor and watched his eyebrows climb his forehead. "Your potassium is on the floor," he said, "and your heart's skipping every few beats. People your age don't just do this." They admitted me overnight, ran a bag of potassium into my arm, and by morning everything looked normal again, which somehow made it scarier, because now there was nothing left to point at. That kicked off the parade. A cardiologist ran an echo, called my heart structurally perfect, then made me wear a tangle of monitor wires for 48 hours anyway. It recorded hundreds of skipped beats and still told him nothing. He sent me to an electrophysiologist, the heart rhythm specialist, supposedly the best in the state. She studied 2 weeks of data, ran her own tests, and said the sentence I'll never forget: "Your heart is healthier than mine. It just keeps behaving like something is poisoning it." She tested me for everything: thyroid storms, adrenal tumors, rare genetic rhythm disorders I couldn't pronounce, all negative. Then she watched my potassium crash a second time and got this look like the floor had moved. "Are you on water pills? Diuretics? Any supplements?" "No, nothing." "Then your body is dumping potassium for no reason I can find, and that's the thing that's going to stop your heart, not the flutters." By now I'd been to the ER 3 times. I had a folder of lean scans thick enough to prop a door open and a heart monitor app I checked every time my chest hiccuped. I started genuinely believing I was just one of those people doctors write up in journals and never solve. I went home after the 3rd trip, shaking, and did the only thing that ever settled my nerves: sat on the couch and worked through half a tub of licorice while I waited to feel human again. The 4th specialist was a nephrologist, a kidney doctor, my last referral. She was the first one who didn't even glance at my heart. She just kept circling the same line in my chart: "Your kidneys are perfect, but they're acting like they're being screamed at by a hormone you don't actually have. Walk me through everything you put in your mouth in a day: coffee, gum, vitamins, all of it." So I listed it out, almost embarrassed, and at the very end I added, like it didn't count, "and I guess a lot of black licorice, but that's just candy." Her pen stopped. "How much is a lot?" "About a tub a week," I said. "Maybe more lately." She set the pen down very slowly. "You know real black licorice isn't flavored with anything pretend, right? It's made from actual licorice root." I didn't. She explained that licorice root contains a compound called glycyrrhizin, and glycyrrhizin tricks your body into hoarding sodium and flushing out potassium, like it's drowning you in a hormone you were never supposed to have. Low potassium is exactly how an otherwise perfect heart starts skipping beats and threatening to quit. My brain just stopped. Then she turned her monitor toward me, and it was the FDA's own site, plain as day, warning that eating just 2 ounces of black licorice a day for 2 weeks could put an adult in the hospital with a dangerous heart rhythm, and noting it already had, sometimes worse, 2 ounces. I'd been eating it by the handful every single day to calm down the exact symptoms it was causing. 7 doctors, 4 ER visits, a folder of perfect test results, and the answer had been sitting on the FDA's website the whole time, right under a cheerful little headline about Halloween.